Hey, welcome to this week's episode of Lunker Junkies TV. We're going to be out fishing Buoy 10 with Buzz Ramsey. We've got Terry Otto, a writer, and Andy Wolgamont, editor of Northwest Sportsman magazine, out with us today. Randy and Jennifer Wells are fishing with Joel Henley. You remember him from a couple episodes over in his boat, his deckhand Janie. Randy and Jen actually flew down for this episode from Alaska, but I guess when old Buzz Ramsey calls and asks you to go fishing, you go, right?
Hey, you know what? Buzz Ramsey calls you guys, you just, it's 3,000 miles, you go.
That's right.
That's right. What a great time. You know, it was actually Jennifer's birthday, and we've always wanted to fish that Buoy 10 fishery. We're always seeing all the articles and stuff in Northwest Sportsman, and something we've always wanted to do. So when Buzz called, I was so happy to get to come down. And
Rocky's birthday too.
And it was, right? It was Rocky's birthday as well, and the fact that we got to hang out with Joel, because I'd never met him before, but I'd heard a lot about him. He was a good guy. He really knew his stuff. His deckhand Janie, she was on fire.
Yeah.
And it was a great time. We did a few different techniques, you know, and that's what I really enjoyed about it.
Switch it up.
Yeah, you caught a few fish. I know you got one on the anchovy, the spinning anchovy. And what were you guys doing over in Buzz's boat?
Yeah, same thing, and that's actually the first time I've trolled with anchovies. I've tried it before, but they're so, you know, they just fall apart. So Buzz's little wire rigging, that check that out with Yakima bait. They got a little bait just for those, with a little wire that runs through the anchovy and got a little cap on them, and that's really a game changer for fishing anchovies.
Yeah, that was money. And it was just a lot of fun. I was really surprised about how shallow the water was. You know, I troll for kings all over the place, and I've never fished 10 feet of water, 12 feet of water. That's a really neat fishery up there that you guys in Portland have. And anybody who is into fishing kings, if you ever get a chance to get up there, get a hold of Joel and book a trip with him, because that was a hoot. His deckhand's on fire, quality boat, quality Lamaglass rods.
And this was a slow day, and we hammered quite a few fish for being off. I know Buzz was disappointed because it would just seem to be shut down, but we still had a pretty consistent bite all day.
Yeah, we had a great time, and they call it a slow day for Jen's birthday. You know, she hooked 7 fish.
She was on
fire. So, and then you guys got a few fish as well, 5 or 6.
Got 2 or 3 keepers, and turned loose 3 or 4.
Yeah. So during this fishery, when we showed up, the kings were closed, but the coho was still open. On my boat, where Jennifer and I fishing with Joel, we didn't actually hook any coho, but Rocky and Andy and Terry and Buzz, man, they did put some meat in the freezer. So stay tuned. We've got more Lunker Junkies TV. We'll be right back.
Fish on! That's a good one.
Lunker Junkies TV is brought to you by Bimark. Get ready for your season. Cascade Farm and Outdoors. ProCure Bait Sense. All natural bait scents and cures. Shasta Tackle. Luring you to the best of fishing. Yakima Bait Company. Home of the Rooster Tail. Bait Buttons. Because presentation matters. And B&R Tackle. Manufacturers of the Steelhead Holy Worm. The Real Tech. Hypnotic Customs. And Oregon Fishing Adventure. Hey, welcome to this week's episode of Lunker Junkies TV. We're out here in the Buoy 10 vicinity with Mr. Buzz Ramsey. Thanks for having us out today, Buzz.
Bet, Rocky.
We got Andy Wolgamont and Terry Otto with us. Andy Wolgamont's the editor for Northwest Sportsman magazine, and Terry Otto's a writer. So look for articles in that magazine. What are we doing today, Buzz?
Well, we're out here at Buoy 10. The Buoy 10 area is actually from the channel marker known as Buoy 10, which is down west of the Owako entrance. And from there to Tongue Point is a management zone known as Buoy 10. It's about a 15-mile section, and this is where the salmon, this is the first place you can ambush salmon when they come out of the ocean and begin their migration up the Columbia River. And Buoy 10 is a wonderful fishery, a world destination fishery for Chinook and coho. Now we're here in early September. The Chinook season is closed. We'll still catch a few Chinook, but the Chinook season is closed. Can't keep any Chinook, but we can keep 2 coho. So we're here to catch some coho salmon. We've had an interesting morning. We've had a lot of bites, a lot of fish on, but we haven't landed too many. They keep coming off, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's Terry or Andy or if it's Rocky that's causing this.
It's gotta be me.
But we do have a couple of hatchery coho we kept. You know, we're trying to harvest those. They got to have that little adipose fin missing to be able to keep them here. But this fishery really starts, it opens August 1st, runs through September and even into October. The Chinook fishery is generally open. It opens August 1st, and sometimes we'll get through Labor Day. Sometimes, like this year, the harvest rates were so good that we didn't make it to Labor Day on the Chinook thing. But the coho fishing down here in September, even early October on a big run, and we have about 750,000 coho coming back this year. The fishing here for coho can be spectacular. Now today, of course, we got a rainstorm that came in, rain, wind, all that. I put the bite a little scratchy today, but there are a lot of fish around, and all these fish that migrate up the Columbia got to pass by Buoy 10. And so anyway, we're trolling here, and it's a fun fishery. So we're trolling a combination of spinners and bait here at Buoy 10. And what we normally do, like there's four anglers, me here running the boat, and I'll usually run a spinner on both front rods. I figure the spinners get there first, and the aggressive fish, they're going to bite the first thing they see. So we've got spinners on the front rods, and then I've got, in this case, an anchovy, but we fish anchovies, herring, whatever we figure the fish are biting. We got a couple anchovies on these back rods. I want bait on the trailing rods, because I figure the fish will hit first thing comes along with those spinners. The trailing rods, I want that scent trail from the bait out the back of the boat, because those fish are either fish that got there late, being attracted in by the fish flash, or they're following fish. And I want the scent associated with bait for those rods back here, so those following fish might stay with it better. And then I've got my rod out the back, and I've got a spinner on it today, and it's trailing out behind the rest of the gear. I've got a fairly light sinker on it, and it's trailing out the back. It's solid trolling strategy. No matter if you're fishing for trout or steelhead or whatever, if you're trolling, to have something out the back behind the rest of the gear. A lot of times you'll troll through the fish, they get excited, maybe you hook one, get one, whatever, and there's fish that you troll through that, they got there late or they're excited, but the action's gone. And they're looking, they're hungry, they want to be in on the action. So that lure trailing out the back a lot of times will nab those fish that you've trolled through, and they're fish you wouldn't have got otherwise. So trailing a bait out the back is a good deal, no matter what kind of trolling you're doing. It's a proven strategy to have something way out, trailing out the back. And we do that quite often, especially in clear water, but it works all the time. As small as he is. Yeah. Right. Wham the spinner. Yeah.
Second one to hit that chartreuse on, huh?
Yeah, that's the second one I had. Bang that thing. That's a Coleman Cascade squid spinner. Gets them. We had 3 herring out, or 2 herring and 3 spinners, and we lost one on a herring, we lost one on a spinner, and then we just got one on a spinner. This is a little hatchery coho. It's a little hatchery coho. He's got his Adipose fin removed, if they've got that fin, you gotta let them go because we're trying to recover the wild fish. Coho are shaped kind of like a steelhead, and then the inside of their mouth, their bottom jaw is black and white. So now a Chinook, the bottom of their jaw would be all black, and they would be a heftier build and usually have a lot larger spots on them. So that's a good way to tell the difference between a hatchery coho and a Chinook.
So yeah, guys, we've also got Randy and Jen. Randy Wells and Jennifer Wells are out here in Joel Henley's boat, Anvil Northwest. We did that kokanee show with Gary up on Merwin with him. They're also catching some fish. Let's take a look and see what they're up to. We'll go over and see what they're up to. We'll be right back here in a minute.
I'm Joel Henley with Anvil Outdoors Guide Service. We're fishing the Columbia River above the Astoria Megler Bridge. The tide has just changed and we're now going downhill, so out towards the ocean with the tide. We're fishing for coho, and we're also hooking some kings. It's catch and release for kings. And we're running 4 rods right now. The depths are at 8 feet and on the bow and 12 feet out back. That's where we've been hooking the fish. And we've got 9 or 10 fish so far brought to the boat, and we haven't had any keepers in the box yet, but we've released some nice kings. We're just coming out of high slack tide, so the water's just starting to run down towards the ocean. And when you do that, you want to turn your boat down towards the ocean and roll with the water. So the tide's running back out and the river water's running all back out. And normally if we're fishing for kings, we're riding off the bottom using lead, but we're targeting coho right now. The kings are actually shut down. So we're running 4 different rods, and we're running 8 feet deep on the bow rods. Pretty shallow for these coho. They like to hang out around the bait. They see yours right above all the bait balls, and they'll just nail your anchovy, your herring, or spinner. We're running mostly bait today because it's raining, cloudy, and wavy. Spinners aren't as effective. And so far we've hooked about 7 or 8 fish on anchovies and 1 or 2 on herring. That's green label herring cut plug.
Lunker Junkies TV is brought to you by Mark. Get ready for your season. Cascade Farm and Outdoors. ProCure Bait Scents. All natural bait scents and cures. Shasta Tackle. Luring you to the best of fishing. Yakima Bait Company. Home of the rooster tail. Bait Buttons. Because presentation matters. Umpqua Marine and Boats. Built by fishermen for fishermen. The Real Tech. Hypnotic Customs. And Oregon Fishing Adventure.
Spinners are legendary for their effectiveness on salmon. There's just something about the sonic vibration produced of a spinner blade spinning on a wire shaft. Salmon see it, they come to investigate, they strike. Rod-bending strikes is often the case when you use spinners. As far as blade sizes, small to medium for spring and summer Chinook, big for fall Chinook. After all, fall Chinook are generally bigger than springers, so a big spinner would be something you'd use then. The latest generation of spinners have squids added to the rigging, and those have been very popular, and a lot of anglers wouldn't fish a spinner without a squid rigged inline on it. Spinners can be fished by themselves, just on a leader behind a spreader and a weight setup. They can be forward trolled, anchor fished in conjunction with a fish flash. Usually when I rig a spinner with a fish flash, because you've got a lot of spinning going on, I'll rig it about 4 to 6 feet behind my flasher, and I'll rig a swivel halfway down the leader. A swivel halfway down the leader will remove more line twist than 10 on the end. So keep that in mind when you're rigging your spinners to eliminate line twist. Today we're trolling a combination of spinners and bait, and all of them are fished in combination with a fish flash. Fish flash is a revolutionary flasher that spins through the water, sending out horizontal flashes of light around about every second. Because of that, it draws fish in like no other attractor does. Because light hits it, it spirals that around, it spins once every second or more depending on your trolling speed. Fish flash is made of durable Lexan plastic. You can't break this flasher. It's really tough. has rounded edges, so should you get tangled up, it won't mar your monofilament or score your line. They're rigged with grommets, stainless steel grommets, welded rings, and what a lot of people don't realize, not only is it a ball bearing swivel, it's a double-ended ball bearing swivel, so both ends of the swivel have ball bearings in them. So you've got 2 bearings in every swivel. Of course, a lot of times we'll snap into these so we can change flasher colors, because it really makes a difference what flasher color you've got on there. If you're fishing, for example, and you've got a flasher on every line and all the rods are producing fish but one, change something. Either switch from a spinner to bait, go from a whole herring to a plug cut herring or something, change something. The other variable is to change the flasher color. I can't tell you how many times I've changed the flasher color on a rod that wasn't catching them, switched to another color, and boom, that was a combination that it needed, and it took off going down just like the others.
Looks like a nut. Yeah, looks like a nut. Looks like a Chinook, don't it? What?
Is that a Chinook?
What it look like? Yeah, it look like that's me.
It's big, it's big.
You hit it good, didn't they? Yeah. Let's go. He's a battler. Look at that. Not that big, but boy, he's wound up. Yeah, he is.
That spinner. Walk right over here.
There you go.
Man, he's hooked. He is hooked.
All right. Funny how the fish you got to release, they don't come off.
Go.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. There you go.
We're at Buoy 10, and we've already hit our quota on Chinook, so we can't keep any Chinook now. Normally, Buoy 10 is 2 fish, 2 salmon, of which can either be fin clip coho, or one of the 2 can be a Chinook. But the Chinook, usually it's any Chinook, sometimes it's clip Chinook. Right now it's no Chinook. So anyway, we're out here trying to catch coho, and Andy caught a Chinook. He was yanking on it, right,
Yeah.
Andy?
Yeah. He, it's like, oh. Yeah, he totally
Crushed it, huh?
Yeah. What's that net doing? No, it looks like a fish. Feels like
I think so. We'll take a look though. We're gonna look.
nope.
Oh. Yeah, it was a Chinook. We could have kept it anyway. It looked good.
It looked big.
Yeah, this is the king here. Keep that tip up. Let it run, let it run. Turn the boat this way a little bit. Just want to net him right here. Drag your tip over here. Tip down, tip down, tip down, tip down. Good job, good job. Keep it there. Keep it there. Perfect job. Reel down to that bead again. Oh, there he is. Yeah, keep away from that rod right there. There you go. Lift, okay, lift all the way up. Straight in the air. Oh, there you go, Jen. Keep that tip down. Good job. Okay. You might do it again a couple more times. Okay, tip up. Lift, lift, lift. You can do it one more time. You gotta get his head right. We can't net him. Okay, right there. Got it.
Nice! Good job! Woo! Woo!
King.
Woo! That's a beauty.
We got a nice Chinook here. It's a hatchery. We're above the Astoria Megler Bridge using barbless hooks. So we're about to release this nice king here. It hit an anchovy. They've been hitting mostly anchovies the last few days. Some spinners, a lot of herring. But today, anchovies. Nice king.
Beautiful.
We're letting him go. Make some babies.
All right.
Off he swims.
Good job.
All right.
All right.
Well done.
Thank you.
Lunker Junkies TV is brought to you by Mark. Get ready for your season. Cascade Farm and Outdoors. Pro-Cure Bait Sense. All natural bait scents and cures. Shasta Tackle. Luring you to the best of fishing. Yakima Bait Company. Home of the rooster tail. Bait Buttons. Because presentation matters. Umpqua Marine and Boats. Built by fishermen for fishermen. The Real Tech. Hypnotic Customs. And Oregon Fishing Adventure.
Here's the rig we were using to catch that king. They've been hitting anchovies really well, and it's 2 fingers separation between a circle hook and a treble hook. It's a size 2 treble and a 2/0 circle hook. And this is a trolling setup. We're trolling using divers today. Sometimes we use lead, and this is my favorite. When they're hitting anchovies, we switch all the rods over to anchovies. Sometimes we have a spinner out and a herring, but when there's an anchovy bite, it's deadly. Go right underneath the chin with your top hook and right through the head, right through the skull there. That's really tight. Then you take your second hook, which is, like I said, 2 finger distance, and you put it right, you want a perfect bend about that. That's your perfect bend. Put this right near its backbone, right in the middle of the, right where the lateral line is on the fish. All right, this is the perfect setup for running anchovies. It's got that curl in it, and what that does with the water resistance, it's just gonna make a nice spin.
Hey, welcome back. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this episode and that you've learned a lot. I know, again, we learned a ton. And one of the things I really enjoy about doing Lunker Junkies TV is we want it to be an informative show. And that's what we strive for. Is when you watch this episode, we want you to learn something about the products, the techniques, the different fisheries. Get out there and put those tools to work. Also, you know, fishing shows are great. If you want some backup information, Buzz is an outdoor writer for Northwest Sportsman magazine, and I am as well a contributor to the magazine. There's a ton of good articles in these magazines, a lot of good information. I can't say anything better about it, you know.
Yeah, I get a lot of good tips out of magazines. They're a good resource.
That's right. And they've got 3 different ones. They've got a California Sportsman, a Northwest Sportsman, and an Alaska Sporting Journal, all 3 of which I actually write for, and so does Buzz. So anytime you know, it's a rainy day and the rivers are blown out and the ocean's too high to fish, watch some Lunker Junkies TV, read some Northwest Sportsman.
Thanks for watching this week's episode, guys. We had a great time out there with Buzz and Joel. Great way for me and Jen to spend our birthday. Catch you next week on Lunker Junkies TV. We'll see you out on the water.
Keep your tip up.
Lunker Junkies TV is brought to you by Mark. Get ready for your season. Cascade Farm and Outdoors. Pro-Cure Bait Sense. All natural bait scents and cures. Shasta Tackle, luring you to the best of fishing. Yakima Bait Company, home of the rooster tail. Bait Buttons, because presentation matters. The Real Tech, Hypnotic Customs, and Oregon Fishing Adventure.
Born to be fishermen, we were born to be fishermen, so come along with me on Lunker Junkies. Lunker Junkies, we're Lunker Junkies. You can't go out today